Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, we're gonna ease into this. So how I guess, whoever puts our energy into this. The way we're going to kind of proceed is that the energies that we put out are being registered through the cosmos and then being returned to us. So when we don't like the outcome of a situation or we don't like the current circumstances, we have to trace back how we got those circumstances. And this is a hard reflect, but I chose the winter to do it, so here we are. Currently in the middle of a nice blizzard. So with this lovely little coat of snow, we have information that, we as a whole, even globally, are really uncomfortable with the fact that, children don't matter. People that commit violent acts against women and children are not held accountable. And this is global. This isn't something specific to the UK or the US. It's global. So all the countries that want to claim to wash their hands, they can't really do that. It's global. I think, I want to say Bush Sr. came up with the first New World Order phrase, is the one who brought it to the public's attention, the New World Order. It didn't take them this long to implement that. I would suggest that they tell us exactly what they've already done, and then we just grant them permission by not protesting, I guess. Hi, Lily. So, I know, I hear you. So if we can trace that back, find where things were being let out, and trace that back to what's going on now. So that's what we're going to try to do, is connect all the dots with the history, global belief structures, and this is not going to be a soft deconstruct. So if you're a religious person who's not ready to deconstruct, you're really going to hate my content. Really going to hate it. Because I'm going to start drawing direct correlations to where the books are being made manifest. And if you're heavy on the science side, you're not going to like me either. So when you're in that dualistic only nature, it's like the Matrix offering you the blue pill or the red pill. You're being conned into perceiving only two choices. You stay here, eat the snake, and look at the chick in the red dress, and monotony takes over. Or you go over here with the badass chick who was originally a man. I cannot. We're gonna stay on course today. The red pill originally was a baddie. The baddie in the movie was originally a man. We're not gonna touch it. But then you get out of the monotonousness, and then you go into training to fight against the Matrix, and you're fighting machines. And so you have you're fighting machines and eating crap in a cave, or you're eating a steak and living monotonous. Those are your two options. Those are the only options. Those are your only options. Those are your only options. Be a beta over here or an alpha over here. Except for there's one fly in the serum. You're being programmed again. It's a second programming to make you believe that you have to be the martyr for everybody else. It's okay, now you're a soldier. Break that word down. So this whole dualistic nature thing needs to calm down for a little while, because there's a huge gray area or a rainbow area. There's a purple pill, there's a teal pill, there's a green pill. You can take all kinds of pills, okay? We don't need to be stuck in the narrative of monotony or murder. Either way, it's still going to happen. And the second fly in the serum that is the most dangerous of those people that think in that split brain, split cognitive dissonance. Let's go with that. It's cognitive dissonance. They have this mentality that there's all the other people that are just sheep and can't see through the system don't have a soul, and therefore don't deserve to be here. Sound like anything else? Sound like a religious territory that just kind of allows you to vet people off the planet? Okay. So the thing you are conceiving of, whatever it is, liberation to some sort of life that does not exist outside of a tank and an AKA, it doesn't need to exist. It's not required for salvation. It's not required for survival. But they want you to believe that, so that when they do hand you the keys to the tank, they do hand you the AKA, you'll be like, sure, which one's soulless again? And this is how we perpetuate a narrative of, you know, massive people getting voted off a planet by a system they never subscribed to, by a thought process, a narrative they didn't even know of. They didn't know existed until you came along and said, hey, this does exist and this is what we believe, and now you don't belong here anymore. Bye. That's not the answer. There's the matrix, there's the in-between, and then there's the May-True. We haven't reached the May-True yet. It's coming, but it's not here yet. We're still little mush balls in our chrysalis. Okay, so, but I can tell you this much. If you are in any sort of propaganda thing that does not spring up from the inside, it ain't it. So, yeah, whether it be religion, a propagated movie, a scientific method, anything like that, that does not stem from here. Let's do this. Let's activate our thalamus line. So just take your fists, gently tap on the chest, right here, collarbone, right here, down a little bit where the rib cage is, gently tap. And when you get to the state you're supposed to be in, you'll know it. Okay, so keep tapping until you take a deep breath. That's how you know it's been activated. So when we can have that dualistic nature pinpointed and understand that, like, if I'm given a choice between science or religion, red or blue, what else is a good one? That, conservative or liberal, north or south, skin color. I'm trying to think of what else. Anything that's heavily dualistic, that keeps you arguing intensely. And then you get the Abrahamics, right? Christians, Muslims, Jews. As if that was the only way to be in the world. You had to pick one. And if you hadn't noticed, they too have a history of going at each other's throats for various reasons. So if we dial back and conceive of the notion that this has a real energetic pattern and is keeping us stuck in a loop, we can kind of get off the train, leading us down the road of destruction, or leading us to destroying other things, right? Which is our destruction, because we're either all one or we're all none. So you're welcome to pick a lane on that. Sorry, my critters are they're just playing. So if we take the perspective of, okay, this is what's happening here and now. So what's happening here and now is okay. So predator and prey. Anyone in spiritual doctrination is going to really have a tough time with this. When there's prey, there has to be a predator. Cannot stress this enough. When there's prey, there has to be a predator. So how do we dial that? Well, we can see it mostly through religious practices of keeping child harm undercover, under wraps, secret, using various forces and whatnot to be destructive to those young, innocent lives. And so we don't necessarily have to have the Epstein files to know who's doing the disrupting. It would be nice, yes, but at the same time, those people are not going to be held accountable. Even if it's okay, let's go this route. What if it does? What if we do? I have coffee on my lip. Sorry. What if we do get the Epstein files? What do you think is going to happen? Just, you don't have to answer in the comments. Just think to yourself. What do you think is going to happen? Exactly. So if we want to stop this as a people, as a group, as a society, as a globe, how do we stop creating predators? We stop being prey. So that means we stop praying. The universe is responding to us and we keep ignoring it. We're putting things out and we think that we're at the whim of some god. We're not. We're at the whims of our own energy output. And we refuse to take responsibility for that. People suffer for it. So we need to start looking at ourselves before we start screaming at everybody else. because there are manifestations. Yep. I don't know if there's a darker than black pill. This is definitely it. If we want better, we have to choose different. If we want different, we have to choose different. If we want to be different, we have to be different. If we want to manifest something else other than what we're staring at in the face right now, we have to do different. We have to do different. And it's not a matter of, you know, high vibing. It's a matter of saying, okay, this is the reality we just voted for. We need to trace ourselves back, because it's ignoring the repercussions of this. In the high vibe community, there's the high vibe, the hungry homeless. You notice those rates are rising at the same. We have to start looking at our output. What do we actually want here? Do we want the truth? Do we want to be sovereign individuals and take personal responsibility? Or do we want to scream at some governmental official that we voted for doing what we know they all have to do in order to get into that office? I'm not here to tell you you have to do something else. I'm here to let you know that what you're doing is manifesting. And this is how it manifests. And as devastating as it is, as heartbreaking as it is, it's not my job to do anything for anyone. I'm not going to change your mind. I'm not going to change your ways. That's your job. I'm just here with a very difficult message, and you have to choose. I'm just here to make you comfortable with silence at this point. Let all the dust settle so you can see clearly. Do one thing that scares you today. Just one thing. Okay? So, that was heavy. Hands over heart. 3 deep breaths. Live like you're dying. All right. Until next time, stay true and keep your flame.